Commentary Booth is a show for media lovers by media lovers just like you. If you want to support the show, go to pariomagazine.com.au. Welcome to the Commentary Booth, where we watch and you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator, Jamie Apps, and each week I'm joined by a rotating cast of color commentators to help you find your next viewing treat. This week I'm joined by a very special guest from WWE. He's a YouTube star turned pro wrestler who is about to challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship this weekend at WWE Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. Welcome to the show, Logan Paul. You've only been a part of the WWE Universe for a relatively short period of time. However, you quickly made a big impression when you arrived on the scene. How does it feel now when you hear people describe you as a WWE superstar?
It's been an evolution of how people identify me when they see me in the streets, right? At first it was the Vine guy, and then it became, I've seen your videos guy. Then it became the YouTube guy. Then it became, yo, Paul something, right? Then Logan Paul, now WWE superstar. After all these years, I feel like that title is the one with the most validation. And not that I need to be validated, but also it's awesome that I'm validated with a title like that, because you immediately get respect. And at the end of the day, everyone just wants to be respected. And I think it's really hard to not respect someone who's willing to get in that ring and sacrifice their body for the entertainment of millions of people. It's incredible.
And you've spoken previously about physicality not being enough to make it big in the WWE, that you also have to be a showman. Has that whole process come easily to you?
Yeah, the physicality comes easy. And from what I've learned thus far, that's not the part that makes the WWE superstars great. You know, I can get in the air and do the flips and do all the tricks, but if I can't bring you along on my story, on my arc, who I am as a person, there's no show. So I think the showmanship actually takes precedence before you do your moves. You know, can you make people care when you're on that mic? And if so, if they're glued to who you are and what you're trying to do, the performance is going to come easy.
And as I mentioned before, you made a big impression when you first arrived in the WWE, proving all of the doubters wrong with your performances at WrestleMania and at SummerSlam. What else do you have in store for Crown Jewel this weekend?
If the WWE fans don't already, after Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia on November 5th, you will be forced to respect me. You might not like me. I might not be your favorite wrestler, but you will have to respect what I can do in that ring. And that's my goal. I could give two shits who likes me or not, but you will always acknowledge that when I get in that ring, you are going to be entertained. And that's my goal.
And Roman Reigns is without a doubt at the top of his game at the moment. Can you learn anything from him heading into this match?
I love knowledge. And when I take on the GOATs, it's an opportunity for a masterclass for me. When I fought Floyd Mayweather, I wasn't just fighting Floyd Mayweather. I was paying attention to every single nuanced movement that he did. One time I was by the ropes and he had me like under his arm like this. Dude covered my mouth with his glove and stopped my breathing for like 2 breaths. An advanced move that only Floyd Mayweather would know because he's been boxing for 40 years. I'm positive Roman's going to have some stuff up his sleeve, and I'm going to be paying attention to all of it and use it and put it in my arsenal for when I become the WWE champion.
And in terms of like learning from veterans of the business, Triple H has recently said in an interview speaking about you, I quote, "You don't do what he did in the events that he's worked for us. You don't do what he's done at WrestleMania without a lot of hard work and a lot of effort." End quote. How much of a guide has Triple H been for you throughout your WWE journey so far?
No, Triple H is incredible, man. He's very generous with his time and his energy, and he's so intentional when he speaks, and when he gives me advice, I know that every single word that comes out of his mouth is extremely valuable. So he takes the time to point me in the right direction and guide me. The one thing that he hasn't done just yet is respond to any of my text messages. Triple H, if you're watching this, just please, like, I'm 3 texts deep with no response. I don't know if you've seen them, but I'm feeling desperate, and I'm just afraid to send that forth because, rejection, some say rejection is redirection, but where am I going? Triple H, just please respond to my texts.
And on that front, how is your training going leading into this weekend?
The 6-pack is coming. The flips are getting easier. It's all good. I'm working my ass off, man. I don't think my hard work can be underestimated, and I'm giving it my all for this match, because this is it. This is an opportunity to make history, to take the title from the best right off the rip. 3 matches in. This has not been done before, but I'm going to do it because it's what I do. And like you mentioned, this is early in your career. Someone else that has spoken previously about how proud they are of you is your brother Jake, who after the Crown Jewel press conference in Las Vegas, sent out a tweet that stated, "Logan is the definition of anything is possible. 2 matches in the WWE, and he's now challenging for the belt. I might have to come to Saudi Arabia for this." How much is he enjoying seeing you live out your dreams as a WWE superstar? He's taking on Anderson Silva, one of the greatest combat sports fighters in history. A week before, I challenged Roman Reigns to be the face of the WWE at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. He makes it very easy to be a proud older brother, and I'd like to think it's the same, and I make him feel the same way about being my younger brother. Just like everyone else, I think he's enthralled by what has become of our lives, and we both accept challenge, all of them at all times. And this is just another one of those circumstances where I took on the biggest motherfucker I could find, and I'm gonna chop him at the knees, take him down, take his titles. He's the tribal chief. I'm the tribal thief, because I'm stealing that shit and becoming the face of the WWE. Run it back, clip it, put it on ESPN. Bang, zoom. And then in closing, now that you're main eventing a major WWE premium live event internationally, are there other countries around the world that you would like to visit with the WWE? I got 2 countries I'm looking at. I have not forgotten about you. I'm making the push. India, Australia. We're coming. Hard, fast, strong. I love these countries. I've never been to either. I want to go. I want to put on a big show, and we're launching Prime there too. So I got many reasons to go. I'll show up. We'll do the meet and greets. I'll kiss the babies' heads, jump off the top rope, 5-star frog splashes onto any opponents. Bring it on. Well, yeah, that's great to hear. And thank you for taking the time to chat with me. Before we close out this week's episode, I can't leave without delivering a quick film review. This week, I'm going to review the new film, The Woman King. The Woman King is a historical action epic inspired by true events. It's set in the Kingdom of Dahomey, one of the most powerful states in Africa during the 18th and 19th centuries. The film focuses on the Agoji, an all-female warrior troop tasked with protecting Dahomey. Set in the 1820s, the film stars Viola Davis as General Narciska, as she trains the next generation of warriors to fight their enemies. Viola Davis shines in this role as she gives Narciska a fierceness in battle, but also an emotional vulnerability whilst in the safety of the king's palace. The action sequences throughout The Woman King are absolutely spectacular, thanks in large part to the brilliant fight choreography and brutal violence within those fights. Surprisingly though, this is not the most compelling element of this film. What makes The Woman King rise above many other historical war epics is the character building. Over the course of the film's 2+ hour runtime,
all of the leading ladies are given moments to shine and flesh out their characters' motivations and backstories. Adding to this character depth is a really deep story that asks the viewer to confront uncomfortable themes such as trauma, rape, grieving, and slavery. In thinking about this film after seeing it, I can't forget to mention the awesome soundtrack. Featuring tracks inspired by traditional African tribal music, this one really evokes the emotion of the story. All of these elements combined with outstanding performances across the board, and you get one of the best movies of 2022. Perhaps the only thing stopping this film from sitting atop the pile of 2022 is the sometimes clunky and cliched writing. The plot could have used a little tightening up and refinement, namely the romantic storyline that just felt unearned and unnecessary. The spiritual and almost supernatural elements as well, perhaps, while fitting for the era and setting, didn't quite work either. If anything, they felt like plot devices to further cement a bond between characters that they'd already built and achieved through the actions and moments that they had endured together in the previous hour of the movie, hour and a half. Ultimately, though, The Woman King is a must-watch, especially on the big screen, as that's the only way you will be fully immersed in the action and take in the scale of the battle sequences. For me, The Woman King gets 4 Pario gems out of 5. Thank you for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and on YouTube. You can follow me on social media at JamieUpsMedia and at Pario Magazine. The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Apps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/JamieAppsMedia. The following people supported at the community support group level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support. Brian and June Hart, Blake Robinson, Rena Renee, Courtney Paulson, Darren Hatcliffe, Jackson Carr, and Tracy Apps.